it's Emily with Miss Anita's Crafts, and today we're going to be working with polymer clay. I used these last year to make gingerbread man ornaments, and I've finally found another use for them. I've also pulled out some circle cookie cutters, a plastic rolling pin, and a couple of clay tools, which can really be anything. You can use a screwdriver, a butter knife, it doesn't really matter. Now when you're buying polymer clay, you want to give them a little squeeze to make sure they're going to be soft and easy to use. Some of them can be really hard and crummy, but these are all easily workable. I have all the colors here that I'll be using, and I'm going to start with white. You want to make sure your hands are nice and clean before you start, because the clay will pick up anything, especially if you have traces of other colors on your fingers. Now I haven't said yet what the craft is going to be, but it's actually going to be an astronaut, and I'm pretty excited to see how he turns out. So I like to flatten the clay out a little bit in my hands before I start rolling it, and then I'll just go over it with the plastic roller to get it to the thickness that I want it to be. Also, you'll want to keep an eye on the thickness, because if you roll it out too thin, it might break once it's baked. Alright, so after you roll out your clay, just want to make sure that it's actually big enough to fit the cutter that you plan to use. I'm going to press the cookie cutter in and then just do a little wiggle to make sure it's loose. You're going to start pulling away the extra pieces of clay after that, and you're going to turn right around and use those again. So just kind of put them in a pile and set them aside. I need this astronaut to have a bigger head so he looks like he's wearing the helmet. So I'm using one of these circle cookie cutters to make a larger head. Then I just stick it on the back. I use a smaller circle to make the glass part on the helmet, which is just done with black clay. And the softer clay is also easier to use because it sticks onto the other clay without any trouble. Some people use something called liquid Sculpey to glue the clay pieces together, but with soft clay, you don't have to. For the next part, I actually had to look up some astronaut clip art to get some ideas for the accents and details, but just have fun with it. You can add stripes to the arms and legs, you can use a toothpick to make it look like there's a speaker on the little control panel. This part is totally up to you. Now he's going in the toaster oven at 400 degrees for only about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Definitely don't walk away from it. You don't want to forget he's in there. You want to take it out right away. Now, there's a lot of different varnishes out there, but this one is my favorite one to use with clay. It's called Triple Thick Glaze, and I really like it because it gives the clay a super shiny, almost plasticky finish when it dries, and it also helps to kind of seal all your small pieces on there. Once this dries, I'll flip it over and use a hot glue gun to put a magnet on the back so I can stick them on the fridge. But even if you choose not to make it functional, it's still a pretty cool craft that I think anybody would have fun making.